7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
It's the 168th episode of Morning Kicks Extra.
Woohoo! Extra. It's because it's an extra dose of Randy and Jen.
And that may not seem like the best idea, but it is a great way to catch up on stuff you might have missed out on during the show.
Or if there's anything you want to listen to again.
Like our last-minute tax preparation stuff.
And we want to hear about your kid haircuts.
Not the ones you paid for, the ones they gave themselves.
So let's get things kicked off.
On Morning Kicks Extra.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
Footage has been circulating online, and it shows this naked Canadian man. He's on this drug-fueled bender, and he's on top of Tiana's Palace, which is a Cajun restaurant in Disneyland's New Orleans Square.
Eh?
And he's waving his arms, screaming, "I am exposing myself," before climbing over the restaurant balcony.
He was eventually caught by Disney Park police and arrested for trespassing. I wonder, did he say sorry?
Sorry.
Public nudity and being under the influence of narcotics.
You know, Canadians are just so thrilled to be somewhere warm, they can get a little overexcited.
Tell me a better way to experience Disneyland.
You know, according to onlookers, he obviously came from It's a Small World.
Jen's Movie Rehab. This is where we assign Jen a movie to watch over the weekend.
Because before I came to Kicks, I had seen very few, if any, movies before.
Very few. You
Very
named
few.
a movie, she'd be like, "Oh, I've never seen that.
I don't know what you're talking about."
Never seen that.
So someone would make a movie reference, and I just wouldn't get it.
Never would get it. She still doesn't get it. But we are trying to rehabilitate her by giving her a different movie assignment to watch over the weekend. Then she comes back on Monday and ranks it from 1 to 10 to tell us what she thought about it. And it's usually a movie that all of us have already seen.
So what am I watching this weekend?
Well, because Val Kilmer passed away this last week, movie great that he was, we thought it only appropriate to assign one of his greatest movies. That's why you're going to be watching The Doors.
The Doors, like the band The Doors?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a 1991 American biographical musical film directed by Oliver Stone.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
She does not know who
Who's Oliver Stone? You gave me a look like I don't know who he is, and I don't know who that is.
One of the greatest movie directors of our time.
Before or after Steven Spielberg?
I'd say after, but he's
Okay.
up there with Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. I mean, he did JFK, which you've never seen.
I don't know what that is either.
And you've not seen any of the other movies. Okay, fine. Anyway, it's based on the history of American rock band The Doors and their influence on music and counterculture, starring the late Val Kilmer as singer Jim Morrison, which, by the way, Val Kilmer, actually did all of the singing and everything for this.
That's so cool.
It is amazing. It sounds identical. Meg Ryan is Morrison's girlfriend, Pamela Courson. Kyle MacLachlan, famous actor, as keyboardist Ray Manzarek. Frank Whaley as lead guitarist Robbie Krieger. Kevin Dillon as the drummer John Densmore. Billy Idol plays Cat.
Wow,
you have to watch for him or you'll miss him. And then Kathleen Quinlan is journalist Patricia Keneally. It was released back in 91, grossed $34 million in the U.S. and Canada on a $32 million production budget. And it got mixed reviews from critics, but Kilmer's performance, the supporting cast, the cinematography, the production design, and his directing were all praised. The criticism was centered on the historical inaccuracy and depiction of Morrison. There's a lot of conjecture in the story.
Okay, so where am I going to watch it?
You can watch it for free on Pluto or pay more than you already do on one of your other streaming services like Fandango or Prime. I guess they charge you for everything to watch it on there, but it's rated R. Definitely not one for the kids.
So I'm going to watch The Doors this weekend, and then I'll come back on Monday, rank it 1 to 10, let you know what I thought about it.
With Jen's Movie Rehab.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
Oh my gosh, I just realized we are less than a week away from tax day. It's like Tuesday, right?
You know what I think's missing the boat on all this?
Who?
These pop-up tax preparers that are everywhere, last-minute tax prepare places.
Right.
There's so much more they could do with this business model.
What do you mean? What do you think?
Like tax preparation and grief counseling.
What?
Yeah, imagine how this would sound.
Tax time can be a joyous occasion.
I'm getting $5,000 back. Woohoo!
But for others, it can be a troubling experience.
I'm so sorry. You owe $30,000.
That's why there's H&R Block Tax Prep and Grief Counseling.
What am I going to do?
Tell me how those taxes make you feel.
I thought I was going to walk out of here with a down payment for a car, but now I'll be in debt for years.
I see. I feel your pain. Well, I think we're done here. That'll be $150 for the tax prep and $200 for the grief counseling.
What?
Don't worry. You can write it off as a medical expense next year.
H&R Block Tax Prep and Grief Counseling for when your deductions lead to depression.
Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
We've been talking about the miseries of the tax season and everything. But everybody loves to get a refund, don't they?
Well, absolutely. Who doesn't love getting a little money back or maybe a lot of money back?
Even though it's just all part of this whole conception that we have, it's our money already.
Right.
You just let the IRS use it interest-free for the entire year, and you're
Hold
just
on,
now
wait a
getting
second.
it back from them.
Let's focus on the money, the
like
refund.
refunds, yes. I like refunds, and I cannot lie.
So I got to go fill out my
1040 soon,
but I need more time.
cause here comes our deadline.
I deduct
But it's not enough.
to itemize all my stuff.
My wallet took a pounding.
I need a new accountant.
So tax man, if you want all of my tax man, turn around
Stick it out.
and shove it up your butt.
Gotta pay tax.
Morning Kicks Extra.
You should have used that one hotline that I had, but the government has shut that down.
Well, what was it again? I don't remember.
The tax relief. I can't remember what it was. Regardless, I found another one for you.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, what is
The
it?
tax procrastination hotline. You
Perfect. That's what I need.
call this one. Listen.
You had better things to do than your taxes, and now you need quick, last-minute assistance. Call the Tax Procrastination Hotline.
Tax Procrastination Hotline. The deadline is today. How can I help you?
Oh, hey, I'm confused about which documents I need.
It sounds like the document you need is called a calendar.
The Tax Procrastination Hotline.
It's real helpful.
Morning Kicks Extra.
We're talking about your kid haircuts.
Not the ones that you paid for. No, we're talking about the ones the kids gave themselves.
Or maybe you gave yourself when you were a kid.
So I was about 5 years old, and I went and got a pair of scissors out of the kitchen, and I still remember the pair of scissors this day. They were bright orange, and I went
Whiskers.
and I hid in a corner and cut every piece of my bangs off that was possible. It was horrible. I still get made fun of it by my family till this day.
No more getting your hair in your eyes, though.
That's very true.
Yeah. So what about yours? Did your kids cut their own hair?
Oh, my sister and I shaved our little sister when she was about 2 years old, used my stepdad's trimmers and clippers, and shaved her bald when she only had peach fuzz.
I love that you just shave your sister.
My mom was not happy when she got home.
Why did you do it? Do you remember why?
No, I think I was only like 5 or 6 when we did it.
Good idea at the time.
Be like, there's nothing good on TV. What are we going to do? I know. Let's shave
Shave the
Gracie.
sister. What? Did your kids ever cut their own hair?
All right, so my child, he was 4 at the time, decided that his hair was too in his eyes, and instead of cutting just, one spot straight across, he took the scissors and cut it straight back on the right side and the left.
So he had this V point like a vampire?
Yes.
Looked like little Eddie Munster running
And
around.
he tried to hide it so much. He kept pulling his hat on and just wouldn't look at you.
It's like the opposite of what you did, Jen.
Exactly, yeah.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
We're talking about kid haircuts, the ones that they gave themselves specifically.
Or maybe you gave yourself when you were a child.
What's the kid haircut that your kids gave themselves or that you gave yourself?
My daughter was 3 years old. My brother was getting married. The bride-to-be took my child out of state to get fitted for her bridesmaid's dress. Her 4-year-old niece scalped her.
What?
She had never had a haircut in her life.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad that her hair ended up being an inch long, and underneath the parts that she did have hair, there were holes. It was so bad that we had to try to cover her head with a flower ring at the wedding because it was so bad.
She's wearing a flower cap at the wedding.
Did your kids ever cut their own hair?
Silence is golden unless you have a toddler, okay?
Yeah, if it gets quiet, you know something's wrong.
Yes. It was a week before we went to have my maternity pictures done. My youngest daughter at the time, she was real silent, and me and my husband and my older daughter were in the living room watching a movie. And she comes out of the baby's room, and I said, "Come over here to me real quick, Liza." And so she walks over to me and I said, "Oh my God, she cut her hair." It was down to her shoulders, and she cut it all the way up to her forehead.
Oh my
I'm tired of those bangs.
Awful.
And she strutted around like it was the most prettiest thing, and I was like, "Oh, let's not go out in public."
Right? What about your kid haircut story?
I guess I was aggravated at my mom that she was trying to potty train me, so I got bored and grabbed the scissors and took after my own hair. And then the shower curtain, it was brand new, and then found a brand new pair of my mom's jeans.
Just went snip happy.
And then my son in kindergarten decided he was going to get bored one day and cut a reverse mohawk for himself. So
And your mom was like, serves you right.
exactly. I've heard about that ever since then. So
We're talking about your kid haircut stories.
The ones they gave themselves or you gave yourself as a child.
What about yours?
I didn't cut my own hair, but my brother did when he was in kindergarten. My mom kept telling him that he needed a haircut for school pictures.
Yeah.
Well, the day of school pictures, he went in my mom's sewing room, got the scissors, and held them up at the front of his head by his scalp and just chopped.
Bangs? What bangs?
Oh, poor thing.
He came walking out with a sock hat on, is what made it so funny.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
We're talking about kid haircuts, the ones that your kids gave themselves.
So my son at the time was 3. He disappeared, and I went to go check on him in the bathroom, and he took my electric shavers and shaved one line straight down the middle of his head.
Oh, my God!
He just wanted like a racing stripe.
All the way. And he just thought it was so funny. He thought he just did a really, really good job.
Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? Until Mom has to explain what happened.
Did your kids ever cut their own hair?
Whenever my daughter was a year old, my oldest daughter decided to cut the top of her hair off, like at the very top, and she had a mullet for about a year.
A mullet! What do you think it was about that look that made her want to give that haircut to her sister?
I have no idea, but it was horrible. She looked like Joe Dirt forever.
Joe Dirt. Trust me, it'll look awesome.
Did your kids ever cut their own hair?
Well, mine, she was about 3-4 years old, and I was sleeping, and she decided she was going to cut all my hair off on the very top of my head.
Your hair!
My hair, and it was like a ½ inch long. I thought I was dreaming, and when I woke, I realized that I wasn't dreaming spitting hair out of my mouth. I was really spitting hair out of my mouth.
Your hair wants cutting, Mother.
I immediately called my mom and was like, "Come get your grandkid." Still to this day, she's 16 now, and I tell her, payback is coming.
You mean when she comes to visit from Grandma's house?
That's right.
Little creeper.
It's Morning Kicks Extra with Randy and Jen.
Hey, join us on the next edition of Morning Kicks Extra.
We're going to be talking about your insomnia cure.
The thing that's just going to knock you out and put you straight to sleep when you otherwise couldn't.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out our blog at kicks1025.com.
You can check out all of the latest Morning Kicks karaoke songs.
And you can watch us live on most social platforms every weekday morning starting at 7.
Make sure to like, follow, and smash that subscribe button.
Don't miss Morning Kicks with Randy and Jen. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on the 4 states' #1 for country, Kicks 102.5.